Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, today we're unlocking a concept that is absolutely going to rewire how you operate, how you learn, and honestly, how you produce. We're breaking down Cal Newport's brilliant concept of deep work. We're going to show you exactly why training your mind for exceptional, high-quality output is pretty much the single most important skill you can develop right now. So let's dive right in. Imagine actually having the ability to focus so intensely that you can knock out an entire day's work in just one single hour. Sounds kind of like a superpower, right? Well, here's our roadmap to unlocking it. We'll cover the distraction epidemic, deep versus shallow work, the 4 rules, your daily routine, and finally, the focus superpower.
All right, Section 1, the distraction epidemic, fragmented attention in the modern world.
Let's be totally real with ourselves for a second here. In our current reality, notifications, social media, random emails, and just that endless scroll, they're all violently competing for our attention every single second of the day. Every little ping splinters your attention. Every quick interruption weakens your focus. We are literally living through an epidemic of distraction. But, within that exact problem lies this massive opportunity. It's really the core economic premise of our time. Focus is rare, and focus is incredibly valuable. Think about it. Tech is moving at light speed, and competition is absolutely fierce. The modern world heavily rewards people who can learn really difficult things quickly and produce high-quality work consistently. Every hour most people waste mindlessly scrolling is an hour they aren't building a valuable skill. Because everyone else is just perpetually distracted, cultivating your own focus, that gives you an undeniable competitive advantage.
Moving on to Section 2, deep versus shallow work, knowing the difference. So, if constant distraction is the problem, what's the actual fix? Well, we have to draw a hard line in the sand. Cal Newport formally defines deep work as professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive abilities to their absolute limits. To put that in everyday terms, it just means bringing your complete, undivided attention to a really hard task. Zero notifications, zero multitasking, no checking social media, just pure, locked-in effort. And then, of course, we have the flip side, shallow work. This is checking emails, sitting in meetings that definitely could have been emails, constant back and forth messaging, basic admin stuff. These are the tasks that make us feel super busy, but they rarely actually move the needle. This contrast is absolutely crucial. Deep work creates value, while shallow work merely consumes your time. Internalizing that fundamental difference is step 1. Which brings us to Section 3, the 4 rules. Cal Newport's playbook for focus.
So we know the problem, and we've got the definition of the solution. But the hard truth is, deep focus doesn't just happen by accident. You literally have to engineer it. That brings us to rule number 1, work deeply. You've got to stop waiting for motivation. Waiting until you feel inspired almost never works out. Instead, you need to build bulletproof rituals. Think of a professional athlete. They don't wait for inspiration to train, right? You shouldn't wait for inspiration to work. Set a routine. Work at the exact same time every day, sitting in the exact same workspace. Nuke every single distraction before you even sit down and know exactly what you're trying to accomplish. Our brains absolutely love routine. If you repeat these rituals consistently, slipping into that zone of deep concentration just becomes a seamless, natural habit.
Now for Rule 2, embrace boredom. Look, focus is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. The issue is, most of us have accidentally trained our brains to demand constant stimulation. The literal second we feel bored, boom, out comes the phone. It's basically the equivalent of eating digital junk food instead of going to the gym. Over time, this literally weakens your concentration because your brain gets completely hooked on novelty. Deep work requires the exact opposite. You have to practice just being alone with your own thoughts. So next time you're stuck waiting in line, fight that urge to pull out your phone. Just stand there. Take a walk without a podcast blaring in your ears. By doing these little things, you're actively lifting weights for your attention span.
All right, rule 3, quit social media selectively. For this one, you need to look in the mirror and ask yourself one totally ruthless question about your digital habits. Does this tool significantly support my goals? Genuinely pause and self-reflect on that for a second. A lot of us spend hours upon hours on platforms that add zero actual value to our lives, totally draining our most precious resource, our time.
Now hey, to be totally clear, you don't have to delete everything and go live off the grid in a cabin, but you absolutely must be fiercely intentional about where your energy goes. Use technology as a tool. Do not let it use you. Not every single app deserves your attention, and frankly, not every platform is entitled to your energy.
Every hour you claw back from a mindless digital distraction is an hour you get to invest directly back into yourself.
And for Rule 4, you've got to drain the shallows. Look, some shallow work is totally unavoidable no matter what your job is, but it should never, ever dominate your day. You need a precise strategy. For activities requiring deep focus, those high-value, limit-pushing tasks, protect them with ruthlessly blocked time. Treat your deep work sessions like VIP, unbreakable appointments with yourself. On the flip side, for shallow stuff that you can batch together like emails or quick admin tasks, just squeeze them into tight, strict little boundaries. The more you drain the shallows, the more time you free up for the work that actually matters.
Section 4. Your daily routine, building the habit.
So let's translate all of this into immediate action. Let's make this a bit of a challenge. How do we start doing this today? It's simple. Pick just one high-value task, nothing else. Then set a timer for 60 to 90 minutes. Before you hit start, ruthlessly purge your distractions. Silence the phone, close those 40 open browser tabs, and then you focus on that one thing, and only that thing, until the timer rings. When it does, step completely away. Take a short break to reboot. As you repeat this over the next few weeks, try gradually bumping up the duration of those sessions. Remember, the goal here isn't to be perfect on day one. It's just about steady, step-by-step improvement in your ability to zero in.
Finally, Section 5, the focus superpower, the compounding effect of attention. I want you to imagine the compounding power of just 2 hours. Just 2 hours every single day of complete, unbroken concentration. No alerts, no bouncing between tabs, just deep, meaningful work. Over weeks and months, the way that time compounds is mind-blowing. You're going to learn faster, you're going to create much better stuff, you'll solve way harder problems. You inevitably become a massive asset in whatever field you're playing in. Truly extraordinary results almost always come from ordinary actions that are just repeated with ruthless consistency.
And that leads us to a pretty harsh but very real truth. The vast majority of people spend their entire lives just reacting. They're reacting to their inbox, reacting to notifications, reacting to all the chaos around them. But highly successful people, they spend their lives creating. And creation, especially at an elite level, absolutely demands intense, unbroken focus.
So, every single day you wake up, you're faced with a simple binary choice. You can follow the distractions, or you can train your mind. The modern world is literally engineered to steal your attention. Taking it back requires a conscious, daily fight to train your brain to do the work that counts.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on. Will you let distraction passively shape your future, or are you going to actively choose to focus? Because focus is rare and it is incredibly valuable. If you actually apply the playbook we've talked about today, finding that focus can completely change your life. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Go take back your attention, and I'll catch you on the next one.